Morning, world, from a very windy day up in paradise here. There's no sun shining, there's cloud around. It's warm, it's very windy, and there's definitely must be rain coming along the way. So let's get into it. Rightio, so can anyone guess what these two large bits of metal are? Well, remember when I was saying I didn't want to know what was under that hutch? Turns out I had no choice in finding out what's under that hutch. Let's go upstairs and have a look. One job just creates another, and I was like, oh, really? Like, the rain's coming either late today, tonight, tomorrow. It's coming. There's supposed to be a bit of it if it gets here, but then again, sometimes it does actually fucking get here, and when it does, it's hot. Oh, I've got purple paint all over my solar panel. Oh, let me get up here. So I've disconnected this panel. I've disconnected this, I'll start again, sorry. I've disconnected this panel. It was coming out of its eyelets anyway, and at the moment, I've got the bus back on 240, just running on those two front panels up there, which keep my batteries charged for lights and water pumps and everything. And the main thing that runs main power on the bus is just the fridge anyway. Laptop doesn't take much. And maybe a bit of Netflix at night on the telly. That's the only two things that draw power. So normally I survive on all my solar panels, but now I'm down to just two. That'll keep the batteries charged up enough to keep the lights on, run all my water pumps, my radios, and a couple of other things that I run on 12 volt. So this section here, just this one section this morning, had its second layer of sealer, because that was all that was left in the bucket. That is one coat of purple. I'm about to get up here and do the second coat of purple. Oh, I love the mushroom idea. Definitely going to happen. All we've got to do is go and buy some red paint, and that can definitely happen. A couple of people, well, God, I wish I was better on names. Sorry. I mean, you know who you are. You left the comments. You left the comments, so you know who you are, and everyone else who commented and agreed with your comment, we all know who you are, so cool. Anyway, brilliant idea. Let's turn that into a little mushroom, like, you know, one of those red top, white dotted thingy things. I'm pretty sure my painting skill is at that level. Just to do a white stalk, red top, and a few white dots. I'm pretty sure I can accommodate that. This floor, this has only had one coat of sealant. It's still sticky. I said I've just done a second coat on that. It's a little bit tacky, but I'm trying not to walk on it. And I'm going to get up here very shortly and do a second coat of purple. And well, it's just coming on to midday, so it's just coming on to midday. I may or may not get a third coat. I'm not really expecting to, but I definitely want a second coat on there. Someone said about this sealer breaking down because it has to be painted. This is an exterior sealer. It says it's designed for caravan roofs and mobile home roofs and every other roof. And I was walking down the street the other day. I actually saw a guy working on one of the shop roofs, and he had about 4 tubs of this stuff. So yeah, I don't think I have to worry about the UV breakdown, but it's a horrible grey and should be painted anyway, and it's getting painted purple. This whole bus is going to, purple's going to be like the base coat, and then when I start getting creative, who knows, I'm going to paint all the patches different colours maybe, and paint my ribs different colours. So when Google Earth takes a shot from outer space, they don't just see this big grey blob just sitting there. It's multicoloured. But then again, my solar panels are going to cover 90% of the roof anyway, so why do it? Because I like to. I remember saying I didn't want to know what was under that hutch. I wasn't going to touch it. I wasn't going to touch it or do anything. Well, in the processes of sanding, in the processes of putting my second layer of sealant on, I stepped backwards and stepped straight on top of that material sitting on the ground, bent it in so far it was a big fucking cavity, so now I have a hole. And lucky enough, my solar panel just covers it. So now I've got these latches here that I haven't been able to work out how to use yet. I'm probably hitting with some onyx and stuff and free them up, but I'm sort of debating whether I have an opportunity to cut a big hole in the roof of my bedroom down there and create a summer hatch that I can not maybe use on these handles, make mechanically, but I can, say in winter time or times of the rainy season, I can tack a tech screw a roof down on top, like my solar panel, but not a solar panel. And in summertime I can just fly screen it and have it as a big open vent. So it could be a game changer in summer because this bus gets so much heat in there. There's no way of getting the heat out. And I get up to 52 degrees in here in the heat of some, like in the heat of summer it does. It gets up to about 52 degrees in here. So there is an opportunity there where I can just cut a hole through the carpet, pin up the sides and work out some way of manually getting up and down and securing it without trying to make that, like, this is also old. I'd be crazy to try and make all this work, but what I can do, there's plenty of outside. There's no reason I can't put a, I'm moving the camera around, there's no reason I can't do a big sheet of tin over that and just tech screw down to hold it in place just to make that a seal so when it pisses down rain, I'm not going to get flooded. I can try and unbuckle those bits down there and put them in this rubber, but the rubber's pretty old and brittle and joined in a couple of spots, so sealing that up, I can get other rubber, I know all that, blah, blah, blah. Right now though, it's going to have to do with a solar panel sitting on the top and hope for the fucking best, because other than that, I've got nothing else, and I need to get in and purple my roof one more coat. I've got an opportunity to do something with it, so whether I take that opportunity or not. Now, well, it's time to do my second coat of purple. It's windy. There's definitely rain coming. You can see it everywhere around. Get a nice thick coat of this on. This is my leftover house paint. Which isn't even real house paint, it's fence paint. I wanted to change the colour of my house to piss the next door neighbour off because she didn't like me painting on my picket fence different colours. So I said, once I paint my fucking house. So then I started painting all my gutters different colours. There's a video of it going all the way back 2 years ago, me painting my house and putting the V8 for the first time in the boat. All happened at the same time. So at the same time I went around my whole house, painted my whole house purple, and the gutters all different colours. I pulled the 6-cylinder out of the boat and put the V8 in for the first time, and I also gutted my bathroom, pulled out the bath and put a proper walk-in shower in, all in 10 weeks. So if you want to go back and look at those videos there. Yes, I was going through a state of depression. It all goes back to the depression. And I've been sitting in my chair inside the bus, eating corn chips, getting fat and lazy, just watching Netflix. Did that for about 3 months. Just whatever brought it on, brought it on. Doesn't matter what brought it on, it was there, it was happening, it was real. And I just knew at that point I had to do something. I had to do something because what I was doing wasn't working. So I went down to the hardware and I asked Kimmy, well, I went and bought every single coloured sample pot she had on the shelf, every one. Didn't look, just bought every colour sample pot she had. There's these little tiny containers. Get a nice coat on here. And then come home and started painting my picket fence out the front, all different colours. And as I was doing that, as I was going along, well, what I started doing after that, I just bought a big 20-litre container of white fence paint, and Kimmy would make up me sample pots for me as I went along. It was great. So, but what I was doing is I was also painting the top of the pickets. So upstairs next door, Joan and Eric were looking down and seeing all the tops of their non-painted grey, ugly-looking fence, having all of a sudden having the whole little top of the picket painted a different colour. And Joan got quite upset about it. Like, and I mean, like, really upset about it. More upset that you'd expect someone to get over the top of the pickets being painted. Poor old dear. And she came down and stormed down and literally ripped my head off. Do you know how terrible that looks from where we are? And that is horrible. What are you doing? How do you think that looks from outside of the fence? And it just looks so horrible and blah, blah, blah. And she went on. I'm not saying she's not right, but like, I didn't actually think of it. And I didn't think it was that bad. So anyway, I didn't think it was that bad or terrible. Didn't really dawn on me. So anyway, she got my arse hairs up a little bit, as you'd expect. Like, I'm just, I'm trying to get out of a depression. And I'm just making this beautiful fence, and next door's just come over and ripped my head off. And I just looked at it and I said, well, why do I paint my fucking house then? Like, my house was horrible heritage colours. Horrible. Hated it. Paint flaking off, it was terrible. My house was a mess on the outside. And I said, just wait till I paint my fucking house then. And as I had all these sample pots, I started just painting the gutter. Different colours. And before I knew it, I was painting my whole house purple with multicoloured gutters. It's all faded now. But if it wasn't for Joan coming down and tearing my head off, I never would have painted my house. So how's that? She done me a favour. And actually, you know what? They kind of liked it. I remember going into the shop. I seen this Dr. Danny. And he was, while he was in town, God, I'm spewing, he's gone. While he was in town, he lived in the house a bit over from where I am here. And I went to walk in to see him on a visit on whatever it was, and the first thing he says, my wife loves your house. That's the first thing he says, we see you doing what you're doing, and my wife loves your house. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. What do you want? And then over the road, we got Merv and Debs, who looked directly at my place through their lounge room windows or bedroom windows or wherever they look through, and they just said they love waking up to it in the morning, looking out and seeing my beautiful coloured house. So anyway, that's the story of how the house got purple. And in amongst all the purple going on, I put the V8 in the boat for the very first time. It was a straight drop in. It already came with the right sump. I paid $1,300 for that motor with transmission, radiator, starter motor, carby, manifolds, and a 2-in-1 exhaust system that was absolutely fucked, but it got me up to Bundy eventually to have a new exhaust system built. $1,300 a whole lot. And there's a whole heap of videos of those, of all the shit that came out of the radiator and the fun I had there in that situation. Paper. I was blowing paper out of the radiator, newspaper in Pacific, out of that radiator for quite a while, but you'll have to go back and watch them videos because I'm not telling you that story now. So this is going on more blue than purple, this one, so either I haven't mixed the paint right, or if the paint's mixed itself and I'll end up with a more purple than blue bus. You know, I don't really fucking care because it's more like a base coat, and I hopefully plan to do other things on top of it. And moreover, not have to come back and repair any leaks that may still be there, because I'm just looking at some of these seams thinking, well, you know, I may be back patching again, you don't know. Anyway, I'll paint. And if anyone says I missed a bit, you come over and finish it. Oh shit, now I've got to get off here without falling off here. Well, that was a slab dab. It actually looked better on the first coat than the second coat. Where's my footing? Oh shit, oh, guess that won't matter. Yeah, the first coat looked better than the second coat. Oh well, anyway, there's 2 coats on now, that's what matters. And hopefully enough drying time that when it rains it doesn't all wash off. Because it is just, after all, it's just fence paint. True story. It is just fence paint. I want to grey and windy, and so second coat, I'm just going to paint this little bit here. I'm going to paint down here. I want to paint over there just a little bit. It's had its second coat, so is this little area here, just to make it look better from downstairs. I just have to. I've got enough paint left in the container. Just want to make it just want to make it purple to there. I had to water it down so much. It's a shame. But I was saying Kimmy no longer mixes paint at the shop. It was a bit of a shame actually. I get it, because you buy your paint, you don't have to pay for the tint. And that bloody tint was a lot of money, and she tinted a lot of paint for me when I was painting this house. And that was only going into fence paint. Oh, fuck my back. Holy shit. And that was only going into fence paint. I went through a lot of paint and lots of different colours. Alright, so that'll look better down from downstairs. I'm going to move this ladder. But now I don't have that option anymore. Oh yeah, it looks better already. Just having that extra bit done. Worth the effort. Oh, fuck. I think they're going to start noticing me from the street now. Get that run. Run, baby, run. So that hatch I pulled up, well, that I stood on, that I had to lift up. I didn't pull it up. I stood on the fucking thing and had to pull it up. Big wet spot in one corner, and we've had no rain for weeks, and that thing was still like sopping wet. No wonder I've always had that mouldy smell inside the bedroom of the bus. Never bothered investigating it because the whole roof's fully fucking carpeted. And you can't pull the carpet down without destroying the whole interior of the bus. And that I was not prepared to do. So hopefully, with all this getting done, a lot of dry weather, that eventually will, because when carpet dries out, it doesn't stink. As long as it doesn't ever get re-wet again, you're pretty fucking right. So, there we go. Had to be done, eh? Had to be done, just to give it something else right now. There we go. So, like I said, we found out what under the hatch. I've got to get up there and straighten that panel around to make it sit flat and secure. Work out what my options are, whether I cut a hole in the roof, which I haven't taken inside and showed you yet because I have to wash out all my brushes. Most important, I can show you how I decorate my driveway. This is how we do it. On the very first rinse of the bus, I don't put a lot of water in there because I want really good colour on the driveway. Alright, so this is cleaning out my bucket. Alright. So as we go, my brush is dripping purple all over the driveway, but unfortunately it's very weak. So I had this whole driveway just coloured. You can sort of see the remnants of what was left when it all first went on there. Everyone was pulling up, taking photos, and wanted me to come and do their driveways. And now, because I never sealed it, because I never was, it was just bloody fence paint. It all washed off over, well, 3 years, I think, thereabouts, 2 or 3 years. There we go. I'm not driving in and out the driveway anytime soon. And that just dries off. And I have a nice big purple patch. And when I start doing like different colours, I'll leave this here. I'm going to come back and wash that right now. So when I start doing different colours and I get different paints coming off, I'll do exactly the same thing. And if I've got some old paint there that I can't paint, I'll just throw a bit of water in, scrape it all up and throw it on the driveway and make it look pretty. So, righty well, second coat on 1, 2, 3 ribs. First coat on 1 rib, 2, and both those little sections there have had 2 coverage of sealer. I put the paint on way too soon, but I didn't care. I just wanted to make the side of the bus just a little bit longer on the purple. There is supposed to be rain coming the next 2 days. I see it on the bomb site. You can see it coming through. It's coming in from the northwest, from the top of West Australia into, well, through the Northern Territory into here. Through the Northern Territory into here, but there's no guarantee it'll actually make it this far in. Could get as far as Dalby and out those ways and just break up and go in different directions, which is what it does a lot of the time. Hasn't had any rain out there for a long time, so not a lot of chance of picking moisture up off the desert floor, if you know what I mean. So, anyway, well, the purple bus is starting to really happen now. Still got a lot of work to do on the roof. Now the other thing is on my Holden parts should be rolling in this week. I've got the new cam coming, the 5666 cam. I've got the new Crow lifters. Yes, Crow. I bought the proper Crow lifters and matching numbers to that cam. They're coming in, and I've got my sealant that I bought a week ago that still hasn't arrived. Should be here this week, and I've also bought some Penrite 15W40 5 litres of running oil, which will be in at JJ's in around Tuesday or Wednesday. So the materials for the boat are gathering. No point pulling things down until you've got parts to go back in, and as like the cover upstairs, up there on the roof of the bus, we're all dying to know what's under that fucking valley. So anyway, well, I'll catch you later. Bye.